afternoon from Los Angeles and happy Thursday. It's Alissa, Coram, and Ken Shreve here with a look at the stock market today. On today's show, we're taking a look at Square as well as Wingstop and more. But first, let's take a look at what happened today in the stock market. So we finished down about 0.3% across the board, relatively mild losses, and it looks like that 7,500 level for the NASDAQ is still intact as a support level.
Yeah, definitely. Even though we saw some selling late in the session today, and the indexes look like they're going to close near their session lows with modest losses of about 0.3%. But what is compelling here is that the NASDAQ did manage to mark its fifth straight close above 7,500.
Yeah.
So some people may look at that and say, oh, no big deal. But it is just a sign, a subtle sign of strength and support to be able to hold that level. S&P 500, of course, we've been talking about still getting some resistance around 2,800.
Right.
And the Dow also getting resistance around 26,000, it looks like. So overall, uptrend is still intact, though, so that's good.
And very key to be looking at those support and resistance levels as we continue to digest this uptrend and a lot of the big movers that we've been seeing on earnings.
Yeah, I mean, the market uptrend still looks pretty solid. We're seeing a lot of good action in individual growth stocks, so I think we have to respect it until further notice. Yeah,
and taking a look at Square, those shares finished the day up over 2.5% in heavy volume here, reversing higher after being down as much as 6% in the early going. So, and this is a move on earnings, strong growth on the top and bottom lines, 51% revenue growth, 75% earnings growth. So Square, after a pretty big sell-off, now continuing to make a comeback.
Yeah, I mean, this is always has always been a stock that has sold at a sort of an elevated premium because of very strong growth. I mean, this is a company with a market cap north of 30 billion, and it's still churning out 50% annual growth. So, I mean, there's still a very compelling growth story at Square. It's always going to sell at a high multiple, and like you said, the stock was down 6% early, but a very, very impressive upside reversal here. Volume are really huge, so there are definitely some institutional investors in there lifting the stock off lows for sure.
And is there an aggressive entry point here, or do we still want to see a little bit more constructive action happening?
I think if you kind of see additional higher volume gains here as the stock works its way higher towards that prior 100 price level, that's what you want to see. So look for more signs of accumulation in the stock, and to me it looks like it's got some more base building ahead of it, but we'll see if it can stay in rally mode and we could get an entry down the line.
All right, and a pretty volatile session also for Wingstop shares, which finished the day up about 1% after, again, a pretty volatile session here. It's holding above that 50-day line, trying to hold within a base pattern here after issuing its quarterly earnings report. Revenue growth did hold steady at 15%, but flat earnings for the quarter. But some nice support here. Yeah,
I've done a little work on this company. They are definitely in spending mode. They're kind of pursuing a similar tack to as Chipotle is, really focusing on digital, mobile ordering, delivery. So this company's been very clear that they're kind of in spending mode, which was going to hurt profit margins. So I think the market is still enthusiastic about a growth story here. It is one of the better growth stories in the restaurant space, and similar to Square, nice move off lows and very heavy volume.
All right. Well, we will be keeping our eye on that name as it is about 8% below its recent highs. And we want to take a look, a couple of wild moves here today. We're taking a look at Ansys in the computer software design group. Justin and I talked about this a little bit yesterday. Finished the day up just fractionally after a pretty big gain in the early going. So filling the gap here after trying to climb above a cup with handle buy point. This is also related to earnings, and this is a pretty high octane growth wise as far as the quarterly numbers here.
Yeah, I mean, nice acceleration in earnings and sales. This is a stock that looked very, very powerful at the open. It opened at around 186, which normally is an actionable entry point. So the stock obviously disappointing price action at last check was maybe at 1% after surrendering a big gain. So, but the industry group here is strong. Ansys is a maker of engineering simulation software, so really strong quarter with nice acceleration in earnings and sales, but kind of disappointing price performance today.
Right, disappointing today, but although this doesn't mean that the breakout here is doomed by any means. There are some other names that we've seen. I can't think of one, unfortunately, off the top of my head, but that have come well off the highs, but that breakout does end up succeeding, but you do need to take things day by day.
Yeah, I mean, just because ANSYS showed the price action it did today doesn't mean that it's dead in the water. It's not going to go anywhere.
Right.
So you just want to see the stock firm up a little bit. It was obviously a very volatile day of trading today. Very good numbers at ANSYS, and of course, a competitor to ANSYS, Autodesk, is reporting after the close today.
Yeah, we have still more software stocks reporting. It's been a very strong sector with a lot of big winners here. Splunk, Workday, Zscaler also reporting. So probably some interesting stocks to take a look at tomorrow.
I mean, earnings season just continues on and on and on.
Yeah, exactly. So more interesting stuff to talk about as we head into Friday as well. So make sure you tune back in here, same time, same place for another Stock Market Today show. And in the meantime, we hope you check out investors.com for all the latest stock news and analysis, and follow us on social media on your favorite platform of choice, or all of them, coming to you live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And we also have a presence on Instagram. So follow and subscribe for all the latest. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you back here Friday.